You call this a safety report, Lyft? Hey everyone, Chris here for Real Rideshare Stories, and we're going to be talking about the Lyft safety report that just came out 2 years after Uber and a few years after they said that they were actually going to do it. And when you break it down, there's an article that we're going to be going over from Gizmodo right now. Link's going to be in the description below, so if you want to check that out. But they break down and do a really good job at calling out the lack of report when it comes to the Lyft safety report. This is a perfect time to tell you about the Get Upside Gas app, where you could save money at the pump every time you fill up at a participating location. Now, problem is gas is rising and it's continuing to rise. So save some money at the pump by using and downloading the Get Upside Gas app and go to a participating gas location. If you use the link in the description below on your first fill up, you're going to save 15 cents per gallon. Again, check out the Get Upside Gas app today and start saving money at the pump. So Lyft finally released its safety report, well, 3.5 years late. And it's only 16 pages compared to Uber's 84 pages back in 2019. So it doesn't look like it's as complete. And that is why Gizmodo gave the article's headline. We call that a safety report, Lyft. So this is the article that we're going to be referencing. Again, the link is going to be in the description below. So if you want to read this article in full, then you can. The one thing I like about this article is that it actually calls out the lack of reporting that Lyft actually produced, because again, it's only 16 pages versus Uber's 84 pages or whatever it is. So they're leaving a lot of information out. And, well, they call it out. So thank you, Gizmodo, for doing that. And we're going to help continue that by calling it out again here. All right. So in an overview, the report does tell us that Lyft counted 4,158 reports of sexual assault by drivers and riders between the beginning of 2017 and the end of 2019. Then also, it leaves out 16 other categories of assault, including masturbation, verbal threats, and unsuccessful attempts at non-consensual kissing and touching. So it still leaves out quite a bit of information. One thing I do want to make clear before going on, this is a very small fraction of incidents that are actually happening across the entire platform. Many, many more rides are given than there are incidences. Again, this is a very small fraction, and most rides go off without any problem. Most drivers are very professional and they want to just make money from picking people up and dropping people off and getting them where they need to go. And the same thing for riders. They're looking to get from point A to point B, and they're looking for a quick, easy way to do that. And Uber and Lyft overall are a very safe way of travel, but unfortunately, there are some very small circumstances that can cause for some safety concern and some issues. Lyft also counted 105 motor vehicle fatalities and 10 fatal physical assaults. The company says it collected information from internal reports, law enforcement reports to Lyft, news, and social media posts. And this is where Gizmodo starts calling them out on the safety report. Again, good job there when it comes down to it. And they're saying that there's a huge lack of information when it comes to it, and all of 2020. So where is the 2020 data? And Lyft told Gizmodo via email that its limited data set has to do with the fact that the NHTSA, or the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, hasn't yet published the 2020 numbers. But that still doesn't explain why it didn't count sexual assaults or fatal assault through last year, because it only uses the data for motor vehicle fatalities. And also, according to Gizmodo, the big ol' hole in the middle, Lyft hides non-fatal physical assaults with no explanation. Where this category is important, earlier this year, the markup reported finding 124 carjackings of Uber and Lyft drivers over the previous year and a half, which almost certainly falls far short of the real count. Uber and Lyft did not share their own data, so the markup relied on driver interviews, media coverage, and police reports, an extremely limited data set due to the fact that not all drivers report. That media doesn't cover every carjacking, and most police departments don't know whether the victim was a rideshare driver. Lyft declined to provide those numbers to Gizmodo. Now that is an important data point, and unfortunately missing from the context here. And carjackings are a big major safety concern in several areas, including Chicago, and now Minneapolis is also having its deal of carjackings for Uber and Lyft drivers. Not only that, there are other cities that have major problems when it comes to carjackings and Uber and Lyft driving. Now, I like this right here too. If they had, it might surface some questions about why the company has reportedly declined to cover medical bills and property damage for drivers who'd been carjacked by app users. A Lyft spokesperson told Gizmodo that its specialized safety team helps drivers and families, but didn't say whether it offers financial support. Now, one of the things too I like that they call out is saying it's important for researchers to check how Lyft counts incidents as relevant. Lyft and Uber, using company data, tend to produce flattering statistics by finagling metrics, like limiting how they count hours worked, which lets them claim that drivers make more than double the amount outside researchers' estimate. Lyft told Gizmodo that it delayed the release because they were waiting for Uber to settle a dispute with the California Public Utilities Commission, which fined the company $59 million for refusing to submit more details about sexual assaults so that the government could investigate, and ended up settling for around $9.1 million. Lyft believes sharing victims' names would invade victims' privacy. But that case also aimed to gather information necessary to ensure that Uber adequately protects workers and riders. Lyft is sitting on valuable statistics about crimes committed on its watch that, at minimum, deserve to be better understood. Now, if you do want to read the entire 16-page Lyft report, there is a lot of fluff that is cut out versus the Uber's report, hence being 16 pages versus 84. So it's actually real easy to see the breakdown of the numbers and what they look like and what it means, but there's no more context necessarily. And then there's a lot of information on things that they're doing or trying to do and coming up with in order to try to make the platform safer and to try to give riders and drivers the ability to say that they're doing something. But my question to you is, what do you think Lyft and Uber could actually do in order to make the platform safer for both drivers and riders? Comment below, let us know. And a link to that 16-page report is going to be in the description below. So like I said, if you want to check it out, by all means, click that link. Now, these companies are supposed to be releasing this every 2 years. So Uber's safety report should be coming very soon, which would include the 2019 and 2020 numbers. They should be releasing that hopefully pretty soon, but who knows exactly when they're actually going to do that. When they do release it, we'll make an update video on what their numbers are and how it compares to Lyft's. All right, that's the end of the video. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified when new videos do drop. And again, sound off in the comments with your thoughts on how these companies can make the platform safer for both riders and drivers. And as always, never drink and drive, always tip your drivers, delivery drivers, and your shoppers, and we'll see you next time.